Oh my God.
And we're live. Yes,
we're live.
Yes, bird flu and eggs. Eggs costing the amount of gold.
Yeah, I know.
And then these guys want to know why their Kickstarters aren't doing as well as they were. Let me tell you something. Y'all been screaming the economy for 5 years every time a project doesn't want to or doesn't exceed or meet your expectations. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is literally the fucking economy right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Like my mom is finding well, even at like Costco, it's like eggs, even though you get them in bulk, it boils down to like $12 a carton.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I mean, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, oh my goodness. Also, I just have to keep reminding myself that I've never had a handyman said that they would be here at like 9 a.m. when they really meant 11.
Oh, jeez. They always estimate.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I just like I'm still a little bit out of breath from running across the street from dealing with stuff with a handyman. He said he was supposed to be here at 9 a.m. And of course, he shows up like 10 minutes before the show starts.
Oh, great. Good morning, everyone. It is February 7th, 2025, and this is the Ragin 2, the vlogs, and I have to go make everything go live. So you ready for this?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
Oh, I gotta find it.
Oh,
I wasn't ready.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Trigger warning, fuck you.
Fuck you. And there goes our monetization because that's
right. Well, you know, hey. I guess the notifications haven't gone out.
They have not gone out. I do not know why. I just went live on Facebook and I'm about to share these out.
Right. Okay. Oh my God. I can't believe, I mean, it's like, is this, I mean, like even the year is racing to get itself over with. I mean, the fact that it's already February 7th and it's like, oh my God, it's like January felt 3 months long and now February is going to be like 2 weeks. I mean, really, I just don't know. I just, adulting, do not recommend. It's just way too much of it. It's way too much of it this week.
And it is not for the week.
Right. No, it's not. No. But actually this week, since the beginning of the year, I mean, since last July, it's been way too much adulting for me to handle. Oh my goodness. So anyone joining? Is anyone awake in the chat?
They're getting here, but the notifications have not gone out. So we are on Facebook. Hello, Lou.
Oh, hello, somebody's seeing us on YouTube. Okay, there you go. At least Lou is awake today. Yeah, Lou is awake. Yes, and I see you, my groggy eyeball people, wiping the boogers from your eyes, you know, as you're trying to like get through the day. And some of you are at work already. So hey. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I guess we might as well just get this started, right? So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means. Mood. And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and my medieval fantasy drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is in its last week on Kickstarter, last 7 days, with issue 9 of this 16-issue series. Link is in the comments and in the show notes below. You can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can also check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And to tell you more about it, here's Nita.
That's it. There's shows and people, and we talk about comics and stuff.
It's stuff, yeah, lots
mostly
of stuff.
Comics, but lots of stuff. So like, and it's Indie Comics Network. Sometimes at indiecomicsnetwork.com. Sometimes it's not. I don't know. It depends on what my host wants to do.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
So I just like, you can Google it. At Indie Comics Net on YouTube.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, too much adulting. So you have me curious though. What's the deal with the title?
Oh, I was in my feels last night.
Oh no.
I never see you anymore, Daphne.
I know, it's awful. It's like,
I never see you. I see you on Mondays and Fridays. I see you just as much as the peasant
during the day because you're hopped up on GABA.
I know. And then when I am okay, I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment. So it's always
I know. It's like, it's been awful. I mean, because I swear to God, Nita, I could swear my work has like fallen behind because I'm not getting my daily dose of back streaming.
Back streaming sounds.
Maybe I should rephrase that.
No, I like it. No, right. Just like that, and we're gonna trademark this shit.
Because usually, let me explain to the people who was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Now, usually, me and Nita, we have our own private Streamyard where we're just literally working.
Right.
All day, like for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's kind of like The Office, where it's like, I'm working, she's working. Sometimes, we're talking, we're yapping the entire time and gossiping and doing whatever. And there are days that we go on the Streamyard and we don't talk at all. We're just like,
it's AMSR, the parrots and the fucking keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is though, it's like that was a habit that Meredith had gotten us into, and it really does affect my productivity. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. And because I've had some stuff happening on my end, Nita especially has had some stuff happening on her end. And it's just been, it's been like a month, more than a month, right?
Yes, it's been about a month.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hold on. All right. Let me.
So it's been about a month since Daphne and I have worked together, and I get needy because I'm just like that. That's my personality. I'm like, I miss you so much, and I get so needy and unstable. I'm completely unstable. Okay, let's see. Crap. And of course, like when she leaves me by myself, I boot myself. I gotta find the tab I'm in. All right. But yeah, anyway, so since I've been sick, I haven't been working as much from my office. So therefore, I am not talking to Daphne as much as I'm used to.
Yeah,
and it drives me crazy.
Yeah,
it drives me completely crazy.
I mean, like the thing that just happened right now, like that has been, my story dealing with handymen and plumbers and, and it's like, it's just, just like back and forth, and it's like never ending. It just seems, I mean, You know,
and then
so
you're free, but I have an appointment.
Right, exactly.
Or
and then
you're free, and my medicine is like I'm at a weird hour, so it's like no, I gotta crash.
Right, exactly. You know, and it's just like we haven't been able to like schedule each other, you know. So it's like, yeah, it's like I really I mean, you know what's funny is I kind of have a feeling that's the reason, that's probably one of the reasons I started doing those weekly vlogs, because I needed to do something. I needed to do something. I needed to, like, I don't know, like talk and kind of like to a camera and you know, I don't know. It was just very, we're in a very strange period, and honestly, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I just want to find out what the hell's going on and move on. Like,
Right.
okay, so what do we do? What do we do now?
Right, exactly. At least, you know, get some sort of, you know, treatment going. You know, but oh my goodness. But yeah, but you had, you know, but the thing is though, it's like you had opened up the show with the whole thing about, you know, it's like, holy shit, you know, the economy used to be an excuse, but now it's like this is the, you know, this is a real deal thing.
This is a real deal, man. When fucking eggs are $12 a dozen at discount stores.
Yeah, you know.
Stores.
I mean, like the other day I went to the supermarket. Hey, good morning, Rob. And it's like I bought like just like a couple of things, literally like a little bag, you know, and it was just like it was $80.
I walked out with 2 bags for 70 something the other day, and I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
And there's not even, and I'm like walking out to the car, and I'm already like, this isn't even 3 meals. This isn't even 2 meals. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's partial meals. It's like I went and bought stuff that I'd forgotten, like taco seasonings. I grabbed like a couple frozen pizzas because I had teenagers, so you got to do that. And then like, God, I don't even remember, but it was like nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And it was almost $70 fucking dollars.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, it's like there's this audio that I guess people been this viral audio that people use on TikTok where it's like, how did you spend $875 in 15 minutes? You left me alone in a Costco.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's hitting a little different now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I definitely need to look into getting a Sam's card again because, like, just, I mean, it was unreal. But you know what I've discovered?
What?
Like, I know, like, you Yankees have had it for a while, but in Aldi's.
You know what's funny? I think there's only one in New York, and I have no idea where it is.
I was actually impressed. Like, not with the store itself, because it's kind of obnoxious with the whole, like, I don't know.
Trader Joe's.
It's like a Trader Joe's off of Wish, sort of. But their store brand shit is actually really fucking good. Like the cereals and shit, the kids usually, if you buy something generic, they're like,
yeah, right, yeah.
And it has been, I've been very pleasantly surprised, and they're fucking meat. Like I don't like. I had to like when I make. Like for the kids and shit, when we make tacos, I have a large family, so I have to use about 1.5 pounds of meat at minimum for a fucking meal. And their fucking ground beef, the same fucking 80-20 or 90-10, whatever it was so much fucking, there was so much more left. That it was like I actually split it into smaller packages now. So I am like loving some Aldi's.
Right. Are they still? Oh, it's like a Rob says. My wife makes me go to Aldi's. You know,
everyone.
Do you have like an Asian market, like an H Mart or something? That's another one that's pretty good.
Asian market. It's a little bit out of the way for us. Like But I've been in there a couple of times, and I've never regretted it. I can tell you that because there's shit, which was really like a lot of the ingredients in Cajun and Creole culture are the same as ingredients you'll find in the Asian culture, like seafood mixes and stuff like that, and the seasonings even. So it's like, yeah, that always is beneficial to us.
Right.
So I love me an Asian market.
Right.
But it, like I said, it's out of the way, so it's one I rarely hit because I'm going to spend the gas that I would save or the gas that I would use. I could just go to the fucking grocery store and spend a little more.
Yeah, that's true. Like we all have to make those little like.
It's like 25-minute drive, I think.
Yeah, those trade-offs, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's less expensive here, but I'm spending that money over here.
But it's gotten to the point where it's like, I'm seriously thinking about pulling out the bread maker and doing the crunchy mom shit again.
Hey, look, I'm reading about how people are getting chickens again, and it's like, oh great, why don't you grab the ones that you abandoned on the Grand Central Parkway? The last time owning chickens became trendy. Like, what was it? That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and everybody had chickens. Yeah, everybody had chickens.
And then they all ended up on the Grand Central.
We had chickens, but they didn't end up in the Grand Central. They ended up in the crock pot when we got
that's because that's a Yankee thing where it's like we can't do that, but we can abandon them on the side of a freeway.
So they can get hit by cars and shit.
Right, yeah.
Because that's like, so much more humane than
exactly.
their necks and
it makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. Like you can't even like find, like, I don't know. It's like there are people who will take them. Why are you abandoning them on it's the Cross Bronx. It's the Cross Bronx. Because it's all the way up.
Them city chickens.
Yeah, city chickens.
With their Gucci bags.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but they're all getting abandoned on the Cross Bronx, because I guess it's like, I don't know, it's more like wild in that. I don't know. It's all the way up there.
Right.
It's up there. So I don't know. For some reason, that's where all the city chickens were ending up. So
that's what you do, Rob.
Yeah.
When you're done with the eggs, you take care.
Right. You got to take care of it. I mean,
you've been a good bird.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. We're gonna start building cabins and shit, it's like, at this rate, oh my goodness. But
I don't know about cabins, but everybody needs a bug out bag. Yeah. You'll need a bug out bag and a Swiss Army knife and some flint and steel.
We're all gonna move to Spain. That's just gonna boil down to. We're just gonna get together. You're gonna meet us. You and the family are gonna meet us up here, and we're just gonna go, get on an Iberia flight and go to Spain. We're in Spain now, kids. Look at it like this. It'll be cheaper to go to Japan from here.
And it's like we're laughing, but the shit, it's like you're going to laugh or you're going to cry right now. That's it. Like, because like seriously, like, okay, so like one of the closest issue or one of the most concerning issues right now is the potential for me having cancer in my thyroid.
Right.
And if it hasn't spread beyond my thyroid, the simplest treatment versus radiation and chemo is just to remove the thyroid.
Right. Yeah.
Problem with that is then that puts me on a lot of bitches. Yeah, right. Welcome to the Ragin to the vlogs. Like, but anyway. It's like, but then I'm required to take hormone supplements for the rest of my life, or I die. Right. So it's like, it's a slow death. Very slow and disgusting death.
It's like, they're only gutting the CDC.
So it's like, so it's like, it's everything is just everything.
Right.
Just everything. It's not just the groceries. Everything is so up in the air for everyone. Right. And it's like everyone has a fucking horror story right now, and it's just like,
yeah.
And so let's just laugh and share memes.
Yeah, I know, for real. And but the thing is, though, is that we're kind of seeing some people a little in denial about that, though.
Right.
You know, like, and of course, to bring it back, because we are a comic book show,
Comics,
which is kind of almost ridiculous to talk about now. But the thing is, look, this is what we do, right?
It's how we're getting through.
Right, exactly. You know, and it's like, yeah, and it's like definitely, like, for a while, we've been seeing a lot of Kickstarters go backwards.
Right.
But like, especially now, though, it seems to be like, yeah, something's definitely going on.
Right.
You know, of course, everyone has a lot of theories. That's not the economy. You know, it's like, for some reason, it's like, right. Yeah. Market harder, which is like, you know what? Don't get me started on market harder. You know, because I mean, because it's funny is watching people who kind of like really believe that whole market harder thing kind of start to let go of that belief, that it's like, oh shit, this isn't really about marketing. You know, you know, and you know, because when people, oh, why did the chicken? Because it was a jaywalking. So yes, it was. It was trying to get to the Bronx Zoo.
Just wanted to eat.
Yeah, and you know, and the thing is, though, is that, yeah, it's like, you know, a lot of campaigns are. It's like, look, I have to admit too that my campaign has really stalled out, you know, and this is like, right, this is beyond the plateau,
right?
You know, you always have that 2 weeks in a campaign where, now the thing is, though, I haven't checked to see how much of that is balanced out by PDF sales. I haven't checked that. You know, but the thing is, though, it's like, yeah, it's like there is something going on. Jose had a theory that, especially when it came to like seeing TNA titles backslide, he has this theory that it's like, oh, it's like people are getting tired of TNA, and well, they're getting tired of cheesecake and they want full out TNA. And I go, I don't know. I mean, it's a funny
you have you have an audience for that. Like those are actually two separate audiences. You have your cheesecake lovers, and then you have your all out porn lovers. Like there is crossover,
right?
But it's still, that is two separate audiences too.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. That seems, I mean, it's like, look, there's always gonna be somebody who wants to see your characters naked. That's a given.
Especially you.
That's a given. That's a given. I like seeing my characters naked. You know, but you know, but the thing is, so it's like you know what, there's just a lot more. I think that there's just like a lot of things converging all at once. It's like, because really, it's like, you know, yeah, when eggs are $12 a carton, you can't be all Pikachu face when they're not buying your comic at 20.
It's time for some scrambled tofu, kids.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Scrambled tofu. I could do some of that right now. I haven't had breakfast. That's the problem. I didn't have breakfast yet. You know, I mean, it was really fun. There was this article that popped up. I didn't get a chance to read it, but there was somebody had the nerve to actually interview like bodybuilders as to how they're getting their protein if they don't have eggs. It's like, really? Will somebody think of the swole bros? I mean, it was just like, I mean, that's just how nutty everything is kind of getting, you know. But yeah, it's like there's just, I don't know if this is also related or not. Maybe not. Most likely not, right? But there was something that, you know, there was a post that's, I refuse to call them skeets. Holy crap. Oh, Blue Sky.
Skeets,
so stupid.
Like, no, because like
someone posted
you can't
on
change
Blue Sky
the meaning of something that used to mean jizz stains, dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and expect us to just use it in casually. No.
But the thing is, though, it's like this is also probably something that might be affecting. Oh yeah, it's because everyone has a Kickstarter. We don't have that $20 we can spend between us anymore. That's
right?
Why. You know. Oh yes. Oh, very nice. You know, I must be hungry. That sounds really good. So you know, so there was this post that came up on Blue Sky, and they were talking about, you know, so I'm just going to read it straight. So they were talking about, I complain so much about people's social media habits. And really, it's just human behavior, largely normal and fairly common, and occasionally understandable. I get that. I empathize even. However, I will continue to complain anyway, like in a medium where you can so meticulously curate how you come off. Why is the number one thing a lot of people want to express about themselves is I am unpleasant generally.
Because for a little bit, that was actually a marketing ploy.
Right. It's like he was like going, isn't that wild? Why do people so often want other people's first and usually only impression of them to be actually bad?
I'm such a badass.
You know, where it's like, you know, yeah, it's like, you know, that being an asshole on the internet was a marketing thing for a while. You know, and it's like, especially the more controversy that you could, like, the more drama that you can drum up, you know, it's like the more that would, you know, and a lot of people fell into that trap, I think, you know, where it's like they see these big names acting like that, acting like complete assholes on the internet.
I'm not going to say it.
And then, no, we don't have to mention names. And then it's like and then these little guys try to pick up on that behavior, and it's like, and not for nothing,
they just look like rabbit chihuahuas, some of them.
Well, that's true, yeah. You know, just trembling and everything, right? And you know, and for a little bit it might have worked.
It did. You know, it did. Right. It did. Because there's one in particular that's in my mind right now, and it absolutely was beneficial to him. But then the same thing that was to his benefit became to his detriment.
Well, right, because there was this article that I read with talking about that type of engagement, negative engagement, and cancel culture. And they were actually talking about how profitable cancel culture actually is.
Right.
That it's like that if you can get kind of like, oh, I'm being canceled. And it's like, and if you can survive the other end of that, you gain a whole new audience. Like it was in the end, for as much as people were complaining about cancel culture, it was a strategy.
Right.
You know, it was, a strategy that they were using, and it was working. Now, not so much anymore. You know, and I kind of, you know, it's like, so you have, you know, I guess and it's like, I'm kind of wondering if that's kind of a part of it too, where it's like, you know what? Yeah, you can cultivate any personality you want on the internet, and you decided to be an asshole. And there just comes a point where people get really, really tired of assholes.
It gets old.
You know? Where it's like, holy shit, you can't function without drama to sell whatever it is that you're selling. Right. You know? And it's like, and I think there comes a point too where people go, it's like, you know what? If you can't sell your book without drama, can your book really be that good? You know, and it's like, and I, you know, and people are kind of like putting two and two together, even if it's completely unreasonable, you know, but you know, that could be a part of it, because it's like, yeah, the fact that he mentioned just made me think of that. It's like, yeah, you know, I think that we're at a place where it's like, you know, you have, you know, yeah, you have the cost of living is really getting untenable. I mean, you know, for a lot of people. You know,
and what's like, crazy is our personal household income has nearly doubled from this time 4 years ago, and we are living the same.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. No, I believe it.
My income and Chris's raises, we are literally almost double.
Yeah. It's like, it's place. Like, what is it? It's like 100,000 is the new 50, I think. You know, like, no matter, like like, people were like talking about like $100,000. Like, if I could just make $100,000, that was like the lifestyle number. And now it's like, wait a minute, I'm making $100,000 now, and I still can't afford it.
We still got one ratchet car surviving on duct tape.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, though, is that, it's just like with marketing harder. If someone's making $100,000 and they're still treading water, the answer to that is not to tell them to work harder.
Right.
And it's like, whenever somebody tells us, oh, just market your book harder. It's like, it's like what Oscar Wilde had said something to the equivalent, to the equivalent of, that's like telling a starving person to just eat less. I forgot what the context of the quote was, but it's like that there's actually an inherent cruelty in the advice.
Right.
It's not about marketing harder. I mean, just the other day I was talking.
It's like telling the sick people, think positive. Think
right. Yeah. I mean, the whole toxic positivity movement, it's like, that's a real thing. Toxic positivity, where it's like, oh, if you're not, it's like you're miserable, it's like, oh, you're in the situation. It's that secret bullshit, right?
Well,
that's like, oh, you manifested your misery.
World that talks about the sin of empathy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, I mean, because there were some people going, oh, nobody said that, or only this one guy said it. And it's like, bitch, that book is a bestseller.
It's a book.
It's a book. It's a book. That's a New York Times bestseller. That phrase, the sin of empathy, didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who believe that. Who would Jesus fuck over?
Right.
I mean, it's, so it's like, I don't know. It's like, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of, it's like,
all of a sudden I'm making bracelets in my head, Daphne. This is ADHD at its finest. It is WWJFO.
Oh, right there. Right. Oh, you're making the friendship bracelets.
I'm broken.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, though, the timeline that we're in does that,
Yeah, gosh, it does.
I mean, how bad is it? How bad do you think the timeline is when I actually had fun doing my taxes the other day? I mean, I was supposed like Kickstarter sent me.
Really need to get.
Really, it's like, maybe we just need.
I swear to God, I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna make them.
Really, it's like Kickstarter sent me like a whole stack of 1099s. I guess like they had 1099s. Was it a 1099? I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know, but I just got all mine. I got my Lone Wolf. I got my Solterra. I got my Meta platforms. Which Meta just makes me so mad, because at the beginning of the year it was like so much fucking money, and then by the end it was like I was getting $2 checks.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you! How do you go from $5K to $2,000 or $2?
Right? Yeah, exactly. No, assholes. Really, all because of that Deja Thoris post.
That's it. Oh my God. And it wasn't even nude. That's the part that gets me the most. It was not a nude, and it got flagged as nude, and it just never. I don't know. Oh, I'm still mad. I'm salty.
Yeah, because like for the past 2 years, I've been using a legit accountant, right?
Right.
Before then, I was doing it myself on TurboTax. And
so we
so it's like, so I started using an accountant because of the new rules. How it's like, oh, if you make over X, like they lowered the threshold of reporting, right? So that's why I got an accountant. So last 2 years I was using an accountant, and what really irritated me that it's like, okay, not only do I have to now report all these lower numbers that I'd never had to report before, but now I'm paying an accountant that's pretty much taking a bulk of whatever money I have left over.
Right.
So it's like I'm paying an accountant $700 to get $200 back. When I used to do it before, I would get more money back. I would get a rather substantial refund, and now to see that just go poof, right? So after the 2 years, right? It's like, so this year I really wasn't looking forward to getting my taxes done. And because I wasn't looking forward to paying $700 just to break even.
Right.
It's like, so I go, you know what? It's like the thing that really like intimidated me the most about doing taxes was the whole itemization thing. And I spent a lot of years trying to avoid itemization. Like I would just use whatever.
Yeah. I'm totally saving my receipts this year.
Totally. Like I would just use like whatever the standard deductions or whatever, and not do the itemization. But then after they did that lower threshold rule, that's why I got the accountant for them to do the itemization, but I was getting less money back. For the effort. Hey, friend. So this year I decided, like, you know what? Let me do an experiment. I mean, because you could use TurboTax for free until you actually have to file.
Right.
So, so it's like, oh, you know what? Let me try to do this myself and then see what kind of numbers I get back.
Right.
And it's like, and depending on how it works out, it's like, you know what, let me find out if I could do this in the end, do this myself, or whether in the end the accountant is doing something magical that I can't do. Right. So I have this stack of 1099s from Kickstarter because they list every Kickstarter. They send you a different, an individual form for every Kickstarter. So I had 5 of them. So I thought, it's like, okay, let me just put them in and then I'll get back to it later, because I had like so much going on. But once I started the process, right, and then I got to the itemization thing. It's like, okay, so we're going to list ourselves as self-employed and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, then it started walking me through the itemizations in such a way that it's like, it was very easy for me to kind of figure out.
Right.
The hardest part was just actually getting the numbers and going on websites and remembering what, like what subscriptions I have, because there's so many of them now. It's like I spent $700 a year on fucking Adobe.
Eek.
I mean, it's it's like, hey, Melissa, and it's like, just kind of like seeing the numbers together was kind of like, but I'm not getting rid of Adobe. I'm not going to go through.
It's stolen.
I'm not going to go all of a sudden do the learning curve on learning free programs that may or may not be able to do what I needed to do. So I just stick with Adobe. That's just, I just, I'm just going to eat that, it's like, okay, that's what it is. Right. I depend on it way too much to start messing around just to kind of like save pennies. There comes a point where there just comes a point where there's a difference between being cheap and being frugal.
Right.
And there's also a point too where you have to decide, are you really saving money in the right places?
Morning, sir.
Hey, and I just decided that, what, Adobe, Clip Studio Paint, I need those. I use everything together. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Right. So I put that in the forms, and there was like this whole other thing. I had to, do the square footage, all my, I had to find paperwork on what the entire square footage of my home is so that it could calculate the office correctly. Mm-hmm. But, in the end, it was actually pretty easy. And then I just got so wrapped up in it that I ended up just saying, you know what, screw it. Let me just go. Right. That now is it. You see now, it's been a tax write-off for me for the past 2 years. Now it's definitely a tax write-off. Right. And the funniest thing is that every time I would think I was finished with the itemizations,
there's something else. But wait, there's more.
Are you sure? Are you sure? And then it was like, oh my God, like what else do I have? Right. So I was trying to find everything to throw in the itemization list, all my art books, all the novels that I bought, mostly because they're reference for formatting, it's like art supplies. I was trying to just remember everything. Right. And then it's like, okay, now let's list your depreciative items. So it's like it's stuff that you have that you use exclusively for work or predominantly for work, but they depreciate in value. You can deduct to that depreciation. So I started listing everything. I started listing the Cintiq and my computer. I even wrote off my cell phone. I was finding everything, my scanner, my printers. I didn't even know that. It's not like the accountant told me. I was like, oh yeah, we have to do depreciative value, right? So I was just writing off everything. Like that was like so it was just like the process was just like, I was just throwing everything into it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I talked a lot about this on my stream. And yeah, the joke was that the episode should have been called Porn and Taxes because I was working on a House of Bob commission at the same time. So because I figured if I'm going to talk about something as boring as taxes, I might as well be working on pornography on the stream. At least to keep it interesting. As far as I had everything covered, so it's not like I was risking anything with YouTube. I think so far it's been okay. I haven't checked, but I think they would have sent me an email if I got flagged. I just have to check again. But so I was just throwing everything, right? And then it's like I ended up finishing it, and the funny thing is that I'm actually getting a refund for almost as much as it would have cost me to pay the accountant. So so thanks to TurboTax and not paying my accountant, I was already $700 ahead, no matter what, because I wasn't paying the accountant. I think at worst, I only ended up having to pay like $80-something to the state, to New York State, but I was getting like $800 back. And it only cost me $150 to actually do the taxes, to file the taxes on TurboTax, as opposed to paying $700. And then the funny thing is that I remembered I had put down a deposit for the accountant to save a spot for this year. So, I write off everything. I was writing off everything. And I contacted the accountant, and I go, look, I ended up using a different service. Can I get a refund on the $150 that I paid to save a spot? And they said, no problem. We're going to refund you the money. So I go, so that refund from the accountant is going to pay for the TurboTax so that I can get $700 back.
Nice.
It's like, but the thing is, so it's like, I was like going, it's like, because also another thing too is because everything that's going on, people had recommended checking your Social Security account on, the government website, and download your Social Security record. It's like, look, if they decide to collapse Social Security, I don't know how much that record that I download is going to be helpful for, but I did it anyway, right? And what I realized was that there was like an 8-year period when I was doing my taxes by myself that I didn't realize that I wasn't contributing to Social Security, from my self-employment. So, and then of course, the 2 years that I used the accountant, they were deducting the Social Security tax and the Medicare. So it's like, okay, they were paying into it.
Right.
So This time I made sure that I was paying into it. And to tell you the truth, I was never so happy to pay those taxes. It says, oh, you are contributing, you are contributing to Medicare and Social Security. It's like, oh, okay, good, great. That's what I want. I want to contribute. So let's continue doing that. So I felt so professional. I felt so professional.
Everything is so organized.
Going back to doing my own taxes, but not for nothing though. I think it was because I had the experience of 2 years actually talking to an accountant that it made me more confident to do it myself, because I was going, oh, you know what? You're not really doing anything special.
Right.
That Intuit, that TurboTax isn't walking me through. It's like now that I understand what I'm looking at, now I TurboTax can just walk me through it. So I feel better prepared for next year. Right. But the dilemma that I came across, right, is that because this year I'm trying not to spend as much money, I'm a little concerned I won't have enough deductions for next year.
They'll trickle in. They'll add up.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, and I go, oh, now I understand. Now I understand it's like why people like kind of like time certain purchases.
Right.
So that it's like, oh, don't do it this year, do it next year, so you can count it at, and that, this, that, and the other thing, right? And it's like, oh, but yeah, definitely this year, I'm going to make it a point to save every goddamn receipt. And that like everything that I even buy that gets remotely used for what I do is getting written off. I guess because I don't really do anything crazy. And my income has been pretty much consistent. That it's like I don't really have TurboTax says it's like, oh, you're in a very low risk of audits, of being audited. Right. And it's like, okay, but it's like if I save all my receipts anyway, I don't think that should be a problem. And I remember reading an article about someone saying that, like audits are really not that big of a deal. Let's say Sarah says, for those of us who just work a normal, not a small business, tax filing still has an opportunity to use the paper method of filing to keep from having to pay for an online service. Well, yeah, because if you do it yourself, well, technically, I don't know if yeah, that's an expense. Absolutely, the Etherton Brothers books are an expense. Everything that I bought on Kickstarter.
Right.
I'll expense that because it's like I use that for what I do. I use that for my work. If it's it's reference, it's research, it's entertainment, so it serves that purpose. So yeah, I mean, Jesus, I'm sure. I should have thought of deducting my Netflix subscription and stuff like that, because technically I only watch Netflix for the reference. I only watch HBO to get Game of Thrones and then like copy scenes for Game of Thrones. I mean, it's like really, it's like it's just a certain. I got to remember that for next year. That it's just it's all reference for me. But yeah, it's just like, okay, oh, now I understand it. And for those of you who are kind of wondering, it's like, hey, it's like you've been doing this for so long. Why are you only now just figuring this out? Because most of the time I had a job that made filing taxes
the economy. That's why.
Well, the economy too. But the thing, but when I had it, it was always easier to file taxes when I had a job because I didn't need to itemize anything. Although I should have been anyway. I should have, thought about that. So now I'm a little bit more organized on that front. Eggs. Yes. Can we deduct eggs? Are eggs a tax deduction now?
Well, I have to live to work.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And you have to eat to live. So
yeah, exactly. If I have to sustain myself for the benefit of the free hand of the hand of the free market, right? I mean, then it should be considered a tax deduction, right? Um but yeah, so it's like, so I was actually, yeah, because it's like, because you can also do your taxes for free directly on the IRS website. I know that there was like some weirdness about them wanting to take that down.
Right.
Because it competes with TurboTax and whatnot, but it's like, but currently you can do your taxes for free online straight to the IRS.
Right.
So but yeah, it's like if you do it yourself and you mail it in, you're not paying, but you know what? For me, there are certain things that are worth paying for, and honestly, like I said, I don't regret. I don't regret the 2 years I had to use an actual accountant.
Well, it helped you grow the
But it
confidence
helped.
to do it yourself.
Helped. Yeah. But in the end, yeah, I would rather. But at the same time, I would rather pay TurboTax to walk me through it than to actually do the math myself.
Right.
It's like, oh, add column A with column 34, and divide it by 27. And it's like, no, no, I'm gonna let TurboTax do that. So so it's like, the end result of me doing my taxes was rather modest. But like I said, it gives me confidence for next year. But like I said, it's like, yeah, it's like, I'm kind of wondering, it's like, well, is it really worth it to spend money that I wouldn't have spent otherwise just for the deduction next year? Because honestly, it really, really tempts me to go ahead and buy the 21-inch Cintiq that I want. But the thing is, though, it's like this, I really don't want to go in. I don't want to go into debt just to be able to have a tax deduction next year. That's probably not the way you're supposed to do it. Like, if I had the money, probably I would have, it's like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. But I don't have the money. But it's like, the tax deduction is probably not worth being in debt for it. So that's also another thing, everyone we got it. Yes, math is hard. Yes, it is. Yes. And do you trust the IRS to make good software that'll look out for you? You know what? It's, yeah, honestly, it's, yeah, I have no problem with that. Any more that it's like, it's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would trust the government. I would trust the government to do it just as much as I trust Intuit. It's just that Intuit, the makers of TurboTax, they just make it a lot easier than going to the web. Although, to be fair, I've never tried the free, the IRS version. But yeah, it's, I don't have a problem with either. I know that my sister uses the free version, has no problem with it. I use the TurboTax, I have no problem with it. So you work with the one that, you work with the thing that you're most comfortable with, in the end, you know um but yeah, it's like, so do you do your taxes yourself?
No, my make C do them.
Oh.
All I do is I go through and I total up all my W-9s and I hand them over to him, and we file married and he does it, and it's
right.
Like, yeah. But next year we will probably be doing it different because I think it'll be to our benefit for us to file separately. So I'll be doing it by myself next year. But I did do my taxes prior, like my own taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I never itemized anything. I was like, fuck it, it wasn't worth the time to me. But that's changed.
Right. Yeah.
Every receipt this year.
Yeah, no, that I was really like impressed. I was really impressed.
I am saving the receipt on this box of envelopes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Everything.
You know, yeah, you know, it's like I said, if it comes in the office, it's getting deducted.
Right.
You know, I mean that's pretty much, you know, because it's like honestly, there is nothing in this office that is not used for what I do, for the work that I do. You know, and I guess that's the benefit of being in something in a creative, yeah, exactly. It's like in a creative field because it's like it's like, look, you know, even my collectibles, even my, you know, it's like, yeah, that Funko Pop is deductible.
Inspiration.
You know? It's like, you know, it's like I use it for reference, I use it, you know, for whatever, you know. It's like it's a lot more when you're in the creative field. Deductions are a lot more open to interpretation as long as you're not doing like something like completely ridiculous. Which I honestly, nothing comes to mind as to like what would be so ridiculous that the IRS were going, now come now. You know, because technically even going to the movies, like I said, even subscription services like Netflix, that's not just entertainment for me.
Right.
You know, that's refilling the cup that I drink from, essentially. You know, this is all part of my creative process. You know, it's like even something like going on vacation. It's like going to like Disney World technically would be an expense because it's like this is part of the creative process. Although honestly, I would probably have to do something like really, really obvious to like maybe like do a video or do a vlog to kind of like show how that is part of the process to make it deductible. But I mean, but that's what it is. You know, I mean, it's like it's part of the creative process. But I actually, so I was being completely weird this week and having fun doing my taxes.
Yeah.
Could you believe that shit? Never. I was like self-marketing. Celebs write off their level of expenses for diamonds and insanely expensive. Right, exactly. You know, they write up, you know, just be careful not to put $3,000 on a line. What line was that?
When it's supposed to be 300.
300. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, you got to be careful with that too. Yeah. Because then they'll start asking questions. What is that? Oh, that's a typo. It's a typo. Yes, you can deduct the tax filing costs. I deducted my accountant from last year because it's part of the process. I have to do it, you know? So yeah, because it's like it even specifies. It even says in TurboTax, it says, you know, file tax preparation. You know, so it's like, oh, you better believe it. I'm putting
everything.
I'm putting everything. You know, it's like pretty much I'm going to list everything as a deduction until I'm told not to.
My Powerpuff Girl pencil holder, even though it's not holding pencils, this shit, I want to write off my weed.
Right.
It's inspirational. It keeps me going.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, you know what's funny? That was the one thing that I didn't see. Like, if you can, I don't think you can deduct like medical expenses.
You totally fucking should, because it's the antidepressants that keep us
right.
going.
Yeah, exactly. Mommy's little helper.
Right.
That was Valium. That's what they used to call Valium back in the day. Mommy's little helper. You know? Yeah, because it's like I didn't see a thing for medical expenses. You know, like I don't know if that's deductible. I don't think so. You know, I think that's like
out of pocket should be, because you can't work if you're dead.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and considering that you do still owe taxes when you're dead, you can't even joke about that. Oh, really? You can deduct medical over $10K. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Because only over 10K.
Yeah, only over 10K.
10K. Okay. So so it's like, oh yeah, I guess, because yeah, we'd be writing off our GABA prescriptions.
You damn straight. You damn straight.
Because also it's like, what if it's not legal federally though, is it? No, it's state, right? It's
state. Yeah, no, it's still
state,
not.
right?
It's illegal here. That's why I have to come to New York to stock up.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm not going. It's like if you're fucking.
That's a work trip, Daphne. Them fucking
plane
tickets to come see you. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
no, absolutely, absolutely. So maybe we should. So hopefully we don't have to.
They know here too. They just want to try to get more.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, that's yeah. But you see, but then. Intuit wouldn't make money. All these little, because in the end, that's what it is. It's like QuickBooks, and it's the same company, Intuit. They spend a lot of money to not have that competition. And that's why I was reading how they want to take down the free the free site from the IRS website because all these companies make money, and we can't have the competition. The government can't be the competition, or so, which is dumb. It's it's dumb. The whole thing's dumb. But in other countries, they just send you the paperwork. You just have to look over the numbers, see if it's correct, agree to it, and that's what it is. They figure it out. The government tells you exactly what you owe. So they make it even easier. But here in the United States, there has to be a middleman for everything.
Well, no, it's got to be complicated.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, and it's made purposefully complicated.
Well, sure.
So that you can have the middleman. But look, you know what? This is where we live. Last show we were talking about working in the environment that you're in. My environment says just pay the $150 to Intuit and let them do the taxes. That's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. And hopefully we don't have to change the title to comics and tax fraud. How to make comics and commit tax fraud. No, we are not saying commit tax fraud. We're just saying how, it's like deductions. Deductions are great. Save your receipts. We're telling you all to save your receipts. And being in a creative field allows us to have more leeway as to what we can deduct,
I'm just doing.
We're just doing at the moment. Yeah. But really though, I really do hope someone comes up with an answer soon. I mean, even if it's an answer you don't want, at least it's an answer.
I just want to know direction. That's all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, really.
I have an MRI today. So what they're doing, this one for is on my spine. We're looking for lesions in my spine to match the lesions in my brain, because in order to get a confirmed MS diagnosis, you have to have like 2 points, and that's the easiest one to prove. Like 2 points of like the lesions in my brain and the lesions in my spine.
So they match?
If they find lesions in my spine too, I can get the diagnosis and maybe possible infusions and steroids and all that shit to start treating the whatever's going on, possible MS.
Right.
But the next step after that would be the spinal tap to confirm the ring, some type of ring that would be in my spinal fluid.
Right.
And that's how you seal the deal. It's a differential diagnosis. You have to rule out.
Right.
Okay, we've ruled it out. This is what it is.
Right. But what about the thyroid?
Thyroid, I'm having biopsied on the 25th.
Right, because that could be related to the MS too, if it is MS.
Right.
Okay, it could be cancer, or it could be MS. Oh, Jesus
could be both.
Christ.
Yeah, it could be both.
Say that. Don't say that.
It could be both. I like both of them. I always pick both.
No. This is where the meme is not funny. Why not both? No.
It's still funny.
Ugh.
It's still funny.
This is the different. This is gallows humor. Yes, this is gallows humor.
Yes, it is. And you know what? I will die laughing at this shit if it comes down to it.
Oh my god!
I swear to God.
No.
Bruh.
Death and taxes. That's what
death and taxes.
Death and taxes. That should be the new name of the of the vlog. Death and taxes. Oh my god! You know what? I think it's time for us to go.
Get the fuck out of here. See, that's what Daphne said.
Oh, good lord! Yeah, no. I keep telling her Meredith can't have her. Meredith can't have her. Meredith is the one that left. She can't. We're not going with her. Oh my god! Yeah, I know, right? Oh. So, well, you have an MRI today, so there we go. So our schedules are off again. Yeah, it's like I have to go to the post office to get this. I finished, like I said, I finished the House of Bob commission. I have 2 more left, so I got to get that out.
And I have so many appointments next week. Chris took vacation.
Wow,
we had no choice.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Right.
Hopefully it's the end of the tunnel somewhere, you know. So.
We're making progress. Every appointment is progress. Like at least now we're leaning more and more towards, but it's like if it comes up one thing off and it's like it's not that, then it's
right.
One, and it's like, geez, man, come on.
But it sounds like the doctors have it narrowed down.
Yeah, they really do.
Right.
They know that if it's not MS, it is definitely something autoimmune. Problem is if it's autoimmune, it's what the fuck is it? Because everything else has come back normal, and they're like, holy shit, this is some rare shit here.
Again. Maybe it's like, are you sure you don't want to move out of Louisiana? Louisiana, are you sure? Are you sure? Something in the water. It's not the alligators.
Well, it's them too. It's both.
Right. That's true. Yeah, it's both. Yeah. You see, at least in Florida, when people don't want their chickens anymore, they take them to the Everglades.
They feed the gators.
Yeah.
Things more humane than making them fend for themselves in New York City.
Oh my goodness! Like I said, we're getting weird. Now we're getting really
it's
weird.
Time to go.
It's time for us to go. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for hanging out with us on this very strange Friday. Thank you so much to all of our beautiful eyeball people hanging out with us as well. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot today, and I hope it wasn't. And I hope it wasn't tax fraud. That is not what we're talking. Let pay somebody else to do the maths. That's it. It's like save your receipts, do the deductions, pay somebody else, but not if you don't have to, don't get an accountant. Just do it yourself on TurboTax. Jesus Christ, get a TurboTax into it. You want to sponsor? You want to sponsor the show? I got you. I'll take some of that monies too. Oh my goodness. So any final anything? Nope.
I gotta get out of this chair. It's killing my back.
Okay. If you want to learn more about me and my artwork and my campaigns and all that fun stuff, you're gonna head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress and any work in progress updates or whatever else is going on. And remember that you can catch me here on YouTube as well for all my videos, 600 plus. I have a Friday/Saturday vlog coming up soon, rounding up my art week. And I also have my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours of me just drawing and hanging out with the chat, kind of like being at a convention without having to worry if you're blocking my table or not. Wednesdays, it's every other Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 6 p.m. And remember, you can also read Eagle Raven, Air the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. And if you want convenience, even more convenience, you can read Eagle Raven and Tall Tales on Webtoon. Eagle Raven updates every Tuesday on Webtoon. We're just starting issue 4 on both of the series. Tall Tales updates every Thursday on Webtoon. And also, you can also find Tall Tales and Eagle Raven on Global Comics as well. Not only can you also read Eagle Raven and Tall Tales as part of your Global Comics subscription, but you can purchase digital downloads of both series as well.
Sweet.
Thank you so much again, everybody, for joining us. Remember, Eagle Raven's on Kickstarter, and it's last week, 7 days. Link on Kickstarter. A link is in the chat and in the show notes. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.